So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Villains, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. I forgot to tell everybody we were doing this podcast. I suppose number one is since the last time I spoke to you guys at 10 o'clock this morning. I've been severely under the weather. I'm just back from a visit to the doctor, which is something I didn't envisage doing today. But we struggle on regardless. So if I just suddenly disappear here and Paddy is left on his own, I won't fill you in on what will be happening. But
I've been sitting here for the last couple of minutes practicing my freeze.
He's freeze face.
For when exactly. You go, yeah.
So if I'm a bit low energy tonight, I hope you do forgive me. But one thing I hope that Aston Villa aren't as low energy when they go to Molineux at the weekend to play Wolves, because once again we have another European eliminator, and I know last night's result wasn't exactly great for us, but in a way, with the fact that we still have to play Spurs and we still have to play Brighton, we still have this in our own hands. But we have to win at the weekend. We absolutely have to win. I think it's become a touch of the Martinez is exactly at the moment. But I and you know what? I'll be honest with you. If he was feeling as bad as I was and put in that performance against Brentford in the first half, fair play to him is all I will say, because it ain't fun. It ain't fun, that's for sure. But as I said, this isn't a European eliminator. I think we can afford to lose one of the last four now. I had said before, 6 points gets us Europe. I think Brighton getting a draw last night would have kept us on for that 6 points. I think they will definitely have to run out of legs over the course of the 6 games that the 6 games they've left to play in May. I just don't think that they're going to be able to keep it up. Now, I could be 100% wrong there, but Villa need to win at the weekend and keep this within our own hands, Paddy.
Yeah, it's in our hands. I think winning games keeps it in our hands. Are we going to win enough games? I don't think so. I'm not usually glass half empty. It's just the things that are happening around us have just dragged me down a little bit in the last few days to see that decision Liverpool got in their game, to see Brighton get their 99th minute penalty or whatever it was. It's just stacking against us. And look, the most important thing we need to take out of this second half of the season is the future is bright, and not in a Randy Lerner way, in an Unai Emery way. The future is bright. We've got a really, really good manager. He's going to build a really, really good team. There's a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and you know we've just got to embrace whatever happens in the next few weeks. Celebrate the second half of the season, move on to our North American tour, and then all set for the next Premier League proper season, as I like to call it, without a bloody World Cup break, which in fairness went in our favour, but we've started to run out of steam at this stage. And not that I'm saying we're not going to win tomorrow or anything, it's just the wind has gone out of my sails as a fan. The belief has gone, not because of anything we've done, it's just there's too much going on around us.
Yeah, and you mentioned about the North American tour. I'm just going to share this up again. I haven't shared it a couple of times there, but if anybody is interested in the North American tour, Andrew Hill from Sports Travel Tours, there is packages there for the game in Philly, the game in DC, the game in Philly and Orlando, and the full 9 days. There have been a few delays with regards to getting pricings for this, but if you want to be contacted by them with the pricing, you can sign up on that link that's there as well. If you go to Sports Travel Tours and find Villa in America, you will be able to sign up there, and they'll send you an email with any of the offers once they are live. I think a lot of it is to do with ticket pricing for the actual games itself at the moment. I know that some fans over in the United States have actually gotten tickets already. I think they went on sale to fans groups in the United States already. So obviously there's going to be like 60,000 at some of the stadiums. So I would imagine there's going to be no hassle in getting tickets for the actual games themselves. But I suppose the allocations for those, you want to have them locked in if you're setting the package as well. So That's Andrew in Sports Travel Tours. But I kind of agree. I half agree with what you said there, Paddy. I agree that I can understand why the wind has gone out of the sails. But as I say, I still think that we are in control of our own destiny. But the fact that we do need Brighton to slip up in one other game as opposed to us. But
I think we need him to slip up. I think we need him to slip up in a couple of games before they play us. I genuinely don't believe we're going to get anything from Liverpool or whatever Paul Tierney roll out to help them out, however it is. I do think we'll put it up to Spurs, but I just have no faith that they won't be helped out either. The league needs Liverpool and Spurs in those European places. They don't need that.
So I think the league needs a good news. I think the league needs another big team in there. I think that like we see the way that like if you were to point a finger, and I know they're London based, I know they've got the big stadium, and I know that they've got that NFL deal. I know that they're a marquee club within London now as well, and the Premier League does want to market London as well. But I think there wouldn't be the first Aston Villa playing in the Premier League or in Europe either, considering the new like there is money behind Villa. Unai Emery is a huge name at the moment. There's a feel good factor around it. Villa are European centric news at the moment with Alamen, see what I've done there instead of pronouncing it correctly, coming into the club as well. So what I get what you're saying. Like 10 years ago, Spurs weren't always a banker for Europe either, you know. So it swings and roundabouts with that. And I think that of all the teams, Spurs would be the one to lose out. You know, I think that the Premier League might go, they can take a year or two, because if you remember, they did it with Newcastle as well. Newcastle were perennial European goers in the 90s. Alan Shearer playing in the Champions League, Kevin Keegan, all that time, and then they weren't. And the league was okay with that, even though they had a huge stadium and they had a massive fan base and so on and so forth. It was Freddie Woodward was over the team, and he was just firing money around the place like it was going out of fashion. So I don't know, but I completely understand what you're saying. I completely understand.
And look, it's a question of treating every game as a cup final now. And I think if we lose anything other than Liverpool, I think then we're in trouble. Then we're Freddie Shepherd. That's the one. I think we're in trouble. We can afford to lose to Liverpool. We can afford to draw with Spurs, but the other two wins are a must, I think. And let's be honest, we should be beating Spurs. But that's a story for another day. Today is about playing the noisy neighbours up the road who've had the hex over us for a while. Still scarred by that day I spent in Villa Park under Dean Smith when we were 2-0 up and coasting with 10 minutes to go and end up walking out on a 3-2 defeat. So you just don't know what you're going to get with this fixture. I don't call it a derby. I heard so many people calling it a derby today. I heard people saying it to Unai Emery in the conference today, and while I tried to dissect what he said in his English, I think he said the only derby was Birmingham City or something, which I don't think anybody picked up on. But that's for me. It's Baggies and it's Birmingham City. I don't class Wolves.
I know the people might be living over alongside Dudley or wherever like that might be.
Of course,
you know,
they're
that's
fair enough.
I remember speaking to Ty Bracey about this. He goes, "This is a fucking derby to me," because he was living over that direction, you know. So at the time, I think it was, and so I was working over there or something like that about a couple of years ago. He said, "No, this is definite derby for me." But I suppose, look, once again, we're not from Birmingham, we're not from that side of things, and everybody's going because of the close nature of the two cities. I think it is always going to be people are going to think it is, and people are going to think it isn't as well. Somebody's asking for where the like button is. The like button is the thumbs up, and I know what you mean, Alex. There, but yes, exactly. If you're using an iOS device, and you know what, it's no harm to explain where it is. If you're using an iOS device, the live chat will show up automatically. If you X out of the live chat, click the thumbs up button and then click on the live chat button again, the live chat will pop up again and you can converse with all your beautiful friends that we have here, the lovely community. We should come up with a nickname for the people who are here week in, week out. The McGrathians or something like that. I don't know. That's a bit classical history, you know, or something, but the lovers or something. I don't know. I'm delirious, by the way. I'm on about 6 or 7 different painkillers at the moment, so anything could come out of my mind. But if anybody has a good name for our little community there, feel free to use it. Talking about, I suppose, good news, I think, as well today, Paddy. For once in the last 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 9 weeks, I would say even. So we got a bit of good news. Good news in the fact that we've a few options now. There probably won't be options to start, but we'll have options on the bench at the weekend. All 4 players that were out injured have a good chance of making the squad at the weekend, it seems, which is time. It's probably a week too late, but if you know, but still better late than never, you know, because we're going to need them at the moment. Who do you think of the 4, Paddy, probably has the best chance of maybe seeing game time at the weekend? I know it's hard to know with their injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, whatever about game time, I think we'll see Kamara, Cash, and Bailey on the bench. We won't see Coutinho. That's the way I read it. I think Coutinho is a little bit late to the party and is still not 100%. No, none of them are 100%. But I think if a game needed to be closed out, to bring on Matty Cash and Boubacar Kamara with 20 minutes to go would be a nice move to have. Leon Bailey, just to give something that little bit extra. 4 games to go in the season, possibly 4 games to go in his Aston Villa career, just to put him in the shop window, get him out there, get him on the pitch, and you know, just to give that something depending on how the game is panning out. And who knows, we could see him start. You just don't know what Unai Emery is going to do.
Yeah, I think so too. I would not be surprised as Sai makes a good comment there. Sai Sable says Coutinho's trained all week. I think he is the one that has the most training under his belt, so maybe he comes off the bench. Paddy, I remember you making an absolute brilliant call from left field recently that he could be like, you know, maybe a Pedro Gonzalez make weight player.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to obviously put him in the market and stuff like that, if that was the case. But you know, we've got 4 games. He was showing a small bit of promise in the 20 minutes he was coming off the bench prior to getting injured as well. So maybe he's someone we can see here, as you say, for the last couple of weeks. People have been critical of Buendia. Very rightly so, against Manchester United, I feel. You know, taking off of Buendia and bringing on Coutinho, maybe it could be a little bit more like for like situation, as opposed to bringing on a Jean Duran, who's a complete different change of pace player or change of style player as well. Not to say that we shouldn't bring him on, don't get me wrong, but if it was a tight game and we wanted to keep it like for like, we were getting joy there, and Buendia was running out of steam, well then maybe there is your option. You know, bring on Coutinho and see what he's see what he can do. But as I say, I don't envisage that he'll be active there from the start. But look, stranger things have happened. Things have happened. One way to throw off Wolves would be you know, to start someone like him, because I don't think anybody is going to be preparing for him. And all we need is a game like he played against Southampton and he played against Leeds last year. That's all we need. We only need him to do it for one game.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't it be nice to have him? Wouldn't it be nice to have him do it for 4 games?
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to see him come in and tear apart his old club at Anfield? It would be magic. But look, I think for me the ship has sailed for Coutinho. I think I don't know what's left in the tank for him. For me, I've kind of drawn a line under him. He's just that's a bit unfair, because I do believe if we could get him into a decent pre-season and build up the body again, I think we could see something from him next season. But as I've said previously, I think he's the make way for Gonçalves. But we'll see what happens in the summer with that. But look, the most important thing is that we get the result on the pitch tomorrow. If we've got those guys to come off the bench, or even again, if Bailey starts, if Coutinho starts, whatever it is, just to see something a little bit different, just to keep players on their toes. Everything is gone a bit stale and stagnant for the last couple of games. Get them back on their toes, get them back punching again, and fighting for their spot. And that will be the case should we see those 4 additional bodies warming the bench tomorrow.
Paddy, is Daniel Perez available for the weekend? Wasn't there something about Daniel Perez whereby he was accused of spitting at someone? Was he ever banned for that? Or someone keep me honest on that one. Was he cleared during the week? Does that mean
he was cleared? He was cleared a couple of weeks ago, wasn't he?
Was it? Maybe he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because he's just, the reason being is he's always been someone that's terrorized us. Like
he came
on and changed the game. Himself and at Nouri. Nouri came on at left back. He looked like Zidane reborn. You know, when he came on in the game last year, he was only on 5 minutes. I think he had 3 shots in 5 minutes, and he marauded down that left wing. So, you know, they've got a very good manager. Like let's not sleep on that as well. Julian Lopetegui is a fine manager in his own right,
Yeah,
and well respected in Spain too. They could very easily be in the position we're in if they had a striker go on the run of form that Ollie Watkins did.
yeah,
It's not exactly that
and
they've been
that's
a bad team.
yeah, that's 100%. They are a decent side, as you say. They're capable of anything. He decided to make the absolutely ludicrous decision of dropping his number one centre back last weekend, and as a result, went 4-0 down in the first half. So let's hope that he drops him again tomorrow, and we don't have to worry about him till halftime. And hopefully, we can get a couple of scores on the board before he comes on. It just seemed like
Collins.
Collins, yeah, it just seemed like a crazy decision. A 4-0
Nearly.
down at halftime, bring him on to shore things up. But look, they're coming off that 6-0 drubbing. They're at home against the nearest rivals in the league geographically. They'll want to do a number on us. You had no doubt about it. I listened to, God, I'm trying to think now. Was it the Hulkcast or one of them today when I was driving home from work? And they had a guy on from it was the whole cast. It was Seb talking to a guy from a Wolves podcast, and he said the conspiracy theory is we shipped 6 goals to help Brighton last weekend, and now we're going to beat Villa, and Brighton will have gained all those points.
Off.
Anyway,
well, I'll tell you, I was on a Wolves podcast with an absolute gentleman called Dave as a Paddy. What a fantastic name as well, Dave. It was on Talking Wolves. Really good guy, really good chat with him. He certainly didn't delve into anything of the tinfoil hat nature like that. And if they shipped 6 goals to Brighton to help out with Brighton, then the Premier League should come down on like a ton of bricks, because that's called match fixing.
No, I think it was said tongue in cheek.
I know it was.
It was funny at the time.
Yeah,
funny at the time.
I'm just touchy, Paddy. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm touchy.
You should be on the hot whiskies there to sort you out.
Oh God, no! I tried that last night and I ended up worse today. So, yeah, I went through the ones of, so I went through about half a bottle of Writer's Tears, thinking it was a cold I had coming on last night, but it wasn't. It was some sort of viral gastroenteritis, and I suffered for it this morning. But getting back to the game, Paddy. Villa are like, it's going to be tight. Like, I don't think anybody is thinking that like the 6-0 was an aberration last weekend. I really think it was. I don't think Villa are going to get that much luck out of Wolves at the weekend. I think Wolves are going to make it difficult, because Wolves won't want us to get that result out of local ping pong between two cities close to each other. So I'm thinking it's going to be 1-0 either way, or maybe a 2-1. I actually think it's going to be 1-0 because Wolves don't really score goals. Now that I've jinxed it, better touch wood. But I think it could be a 1-0, and I'm hoping that Ollie Watkins gets back in the score sheet, because he's gone kind of quiet. It's not even he's gone quiet, it's that we haven't been able to get him the ball the last 2 games, Paddy.
Sorry, my phone just rang there and I got distracted. Who are you talking about there?
I was just saying there that I think it's going to be maybe a 1-0 game, and it would be nice to see Ollie Watkins get back in the score sheet, because we haven't been able to get him anywhere near the ball the last 2 weeks.
It would be nice to see him get his head back in the game. He's had a run of 3 games, really. Even the Brentford game as well, he didn't perform to the they didn't let him perform, I suppose. So it's a big game for everybody. It's a big game for everybody to be up and to know what their tactics are tomorrow. It's just one of those, has to be an Unai masterclass in order to get us back on track, because it's there for the taking. As I said, I'm not totally convinced we can do it at this stage. It's just everything is just stacking against us. Yeah. But it would be great to see Ollie Watkins get a bit of a run just to finish off the season, to top up the record that he already has. And I think if he scores 2 tomorrow, he beats Dwight York's away record as well. I think I heard Dale say that earlier today. So
true.
Yeah, look, there's a lot going on. There's so much going on in our club. There's so much going on and off the pitch. It's just focus tomorrow. Get the fans in. Get the fans noisy behind the team. I love the way Unai Emery always brings the fans into his press conference. I think it's so important. just lost a little bit of touch over the last couple of years with the fans. It's great that he just thinks it was forced, either in the preview of the game and his pre-game presser, or the first thing he talks about the minute the game is over is he says his good evenings, and then it's straight into talking about how the fans were, or apologizing to the fans, or whatever it is he has to say. So everything, all the stars are aligned for next season. It just would be great to add European football, and he admitted as much himself today. It does attract players, 100% attracts players. So if we could just get that over the line, it'd be magic.
Yeah, and I can't add any more to that, but you guys can in the comments, and I want to share some of your comments as well. Matt Hallinan, thank you so much. He says, points for podcasters. I start to worry about you all going thirsty in the summer months. Up the Villa and the fight for 7th. Thanks a million for that. Be happy was drunk. I'm drunk, Nook, can see and hear you too. I love it. Absolutely love it. British Mick says Moreno will be playing out of his skin to impress Plastic City. That was a wild rumor. I think that is a wild rumor. But look, hey, if City come looking for one of your players, start to bid in at 100 million and see where the cards fall. For anyone, you know, it's like
I think he's vital to us now. I think he's an
he is
important part of the
vital,
cog. Yeah. I don't see any amount of money taking him away at this stage. I think he's Unai's man. He's the only man really that he brought in that was going to be part of the match day setup as long as he was fit. So I don't see any change. I think he'll be in there tomorrow and doing his thing, and it'll be an interesting matchup down that wing as well.
Yeah. John Steele says players coming back will make a difference. I think we can win the next two, set up a nice decider against Brighton. I really hope so. It would be fantastic. I'll never forget, and it was for a complete another different reason, that the West Ham game, because I am going to say it, like during that whole miraculous staying up season, I was super positive we were going to stay up. I remember going on the whole cast with Danny and Cole, and I remember they were saying, no, I think we're down now. And I think it might have been after Palace or something. I think it might have been Palace. And I was like, no, guys, I think we're going to get a result. If we keep drawing, if we keep getting clawing points and get a win out of somewhere, we'll stay up. And I was so delighted when we stayed up as well. So I want us to have something to play for in the last day of the season, because I think that this team will respond to the Razzmatazz, because there will be Razzmatazz in the Amex. It is. Oh no, it's not Villa Park, isn't it? Because he'll be there. Yeah. In Villa Park on final day, and that would be fantastic. You know, that'd be absolutely great to see. Where else are we there? So just going to scroll down a small bit. So a couple of people. Oh yeah, so Tuan says that Podence was found not guilty last week. Excellent. Well, not excellent, but excellent for him, I suppose. Really. Matt Hanlon says that Neil needs to stay off the webs for a few days and get better. I'm remembering his miserable fall and winter with that cough he couldn't shake. That cough was crazy. It went down for nearly about 12 weeks. I remember. I was like I had the black lung. I was like Zoolander there going around the place for a while. But no, I can assure you I'll be right as rain hopefully tomorrow morning again. This is only a 24-hour thing, I think. But I was taking evasive action, you know, to make sure that it wasn't anything, because tomorrow is potentially a big day for me. But we will see. So it won't be illness, to put it this way. That won't have me doing the team sheet tantrum in the post-match podcast, to put it that way, tomorrow. If it's only little old illness, I will definitely be here. Otherwise, you might see me in a gown and a hairnet and a mask. Yeah, that's the content everybody comes here to see, isn't it? Yeah, that's the content everyone comes here to see from the Labour ward. So where else are we there? Sai says the Philogene Bides has been recalled. I hear may he get a bench place before the season's end. Funai to have a look. I know, didn't we go through this last year, Paddy? Am I hallucinating or am I completely making this up? But I don't think he can play because I don't think he can be re-registered, because there's no window to re-register him between now and the end of the year.
I don't think it's a case of him being recalled either. The last game of the season for the championship is on Monday, so I think
his loan contract doesn't finish till the 30th of June or something, like, or the 1st of June or something. So
yeah, because they always cover themselves for playoffs and whatever. So yeah, I I hadn't heard anything about that, and I didn't
don't
see
think
him
he
in any
can.
videos or anything like
Yeah.
that, so I don't know whether he was brought back before, unless he's injured. That would be like, as you see, Aaron Ramsey is in Bodymore Heath at the moment, getting his treatment and stuff. So, I didn't hear anything about Jaden Phillips-McG and Badis, unfortunately.
Yeah, and neither did I. So yeah, I think we're going to leave it at that, guys. We're going to leave it at that. We will be back with a team sheet tantrum tomorrow and a post match directly after the game. So we would love if you could join us for that as well. Like there's been a lot of transfer rumors going around recently. Just having the time to do bits and pieces on them, but I'm going to try and group them together. I think at this stage, because every time you go on Twitter, we're linked to a new player, and you know what? I love that. I think it keeps people interested. I was that kid who would go and buy Match and open up the back page and see all those tiny little rumors about Villa signing Paul Kitson for 4 million and dance around the schoolyard. Like I just didn't care as long as we were signing somebody. It was always interesting. Then you go and you buy Shoot. So Match used to come into our local shop on a Wednesday, I think it was, and Shoot used to come in a Wednesday, I think, a Match on a Friday or on a Thursday. So you get Shoot, and then the rumors weren't ever as good in Shoot. It was never as tabloidy. And then you get Match, and then Match would have the right wild rumors like Villa are going to sign Chris Armstrong or Villa are going to sign Paulo Di Canio, and you'd be like, yes, running around the schoolyard. And I don't think I've ever lost that. So that's why I always get excited for transfers as well. So keep them coming. And look, the cards will fall where they may. The cards will fall where they may, but you never know. We might sign one of the players we're linked with, and it's best to know about them, I suppose, if we do. So we will get a couple of those, and we will get them out to you as well over the course of the next few days as well. But thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. I actually feel a bit better now since coming on this and talking. It's focused my mind on it, and I think it's the endorphins and the serotonin from talking to you, Paddy, and from talking about Aston Villa and hearing from everybody there in the chat that's done it. So thanks a million, everybody, for watching and for listening. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. If you haven't subscribed, click on the subscription button. Costs you nothing. And we will see you tomorrow for the team sheet tantrum. But until then, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.